Hey again. Welcome back to Poetry Lockdown, day 246. Happy Friday. So I've mentioned a number of times, I'm a high school English teacher. And I think I mentioned recently we're doing a poetry unit with my students. Aside from them creating their own original poems, I also have them choose poems that move them, and they say things. They do little mini lockdowns for my class about why they love the poems that they're choosing. So this poet I'd not heard of before my class unit started, and I'm really excited about her. She's just a terrific young poet. So the poet is Diannely Antigua, and her poem is Everything's Been Said. So I'll read the poem and then just talk a little bit about why I love it. Everything's been said, but one last thing about the ocean. It doesn't love back. I watched two women on paddleboards balance the waves and their bodies pushing through water to propel themselves forward. And it reminds me of high school science when I learned about Newton's laws of motion, especially the third one. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. But I don't watch alone. In this coastal town, I eat lunch with two new friends, both artists, and we contemplate the existence of water sports. One woman on the paddleboard falls into the ocean and pulls the other in with her. They laugh, and so do we. But then we talk about trust, how unforgiving the ocean is, the water, and then what's beneath. How all week we've seen the shark flag waving on the shoreline, or how we've been warned to never swim with the seals. And I confess, I can't swim. These are lessons my mother never taught me. Together, we've never been submerged in water. Or maybe we have at the church baptism party when we waded in the pool and the minister laid his hands on us, dipped us in the name of Jesus. I stopped wearing my gold flower earrings after that, the center emerald already missing from one of them. Then I threw away all my denim jeans and my Backstreet Boys cassettes. Everything has been said, but one last thing about faith. It's seeing the shark flag and still jumping in, or believing that a shell washed up on shore can hold all manner of good intention when placed on a bookshelf, looked at from time to time. It's believing you will be dragged under by what's closest to you. Won't even see it coming. Diannely Antigua, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, the first name, but that is a terrific poem. That was Everything's Been Said. Why do I love this poem? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. I feel like it's quietly amazing. It's super conversational. You know, it's one of those poems that starts with the title just leads you right into the poem, right? I love that conversational style. The other thing I like about it is, and I was thinking about this right before recording, it's kind of like memory and the language kind of are like meeting at these different moments, and all of a sudden it's like you just go into depths of memory from a single word, like it kind of triggers things. So like, you know, the poem starts, it's these two friends talking, they're watching, they see the shark flag, and then, you know, she makes the confession, you know, in language out loud, I can't swim. And all of a sudden we make this huge jump, right, from lessons my mother never taught me. And she's like, well, she never taught me to swim. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, there's that time we were submerged in baptism. And then all of a sudden in the middle of this poem, it's like, whoa, the scope of it gets super huge. And we're talking about faith and the things that were thrown away, but then what faith is. And we get these like incredibly powerful metaphors that organically come from the poem itself that would never have come were it not for what had come before, you know? So one last thing about faith, it's seeing the shark flag and still jumping in. Whoa, scary and profoundly true, I think, when I think about my own faith life. Believing that a shell washed up on shore can hold all matter of good intention when placed on a bookshelf, looked at from time to time. That's really interesting. So that there's, I don't know, maybe like This to me speaks to like faith that maybe has faded and now like is looked at. I don't know, that's kind of what maybe what I read into it. And that maybe faith, it looks differently at different moments in our lives. And yet it's got this lovely metaphor that's, again, or just organically developed from what the poet has done so effortlessly at the beginning of the poem. I find that beautiful. So just a few words about why I love this poem, but I would totally recommend. I've read a number of poems by her now. Diannely Antigua, thanks to my student for pointing this poet out to me. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on her work. So thank you, Diannely Antigua, for this beautiful poem. Thanks for tuning in, team. Hope it's a great rest of your weekend. Peace.